order?
What do you mean? I was like,
Just, we'll gonna call the meeting to order.
And I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It is 9:11 and I'm going to, that's the funniest, yeah.
what?
Call the meeting to order. 9:11. And Mrs. Marcus, would you please do the honors of the Pledge of Allegiance?
Can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Can you lead us in the Pledge of
Oh, I
Allegiance?
didn't, yes.
No, that's okay. You were busy.
Please stand, put your right hand over your heart, ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I make a comment about that, everybody? No comment?
No comma.
When I was beginning to be on the board many years ago, Mel Spitz pointed out that in the Pledge of Allegiance, there is no comma after one nation under God, and that everybody pauses on it, but in reality, there is no comma there, so it's one nation under God with liberty and not that one nation under God, one nation under God. And so I always say it, and I'm a split second ahead of, I've always been reminded of, okay, that's enough. My lesson is over.
That's
I'm a teacher.
That's fascinating, yeah.
That's what it was, I remember you.
Okay, so the agenda is on the table. We need a motion to adopt the agenda. While we're adopting it, it looks a little funny up here today.
We're funky today.
I'm a teacher.
Lorraine
I
is
always-
unavailable.
Oh, finally the admin has showed up.
Yeah, Karen's unwell. Sylvia is treasurer, I'm recording secretary, and we're gonna do it.
It's true.
And my Uber, my Uber.
Uber driver,
We're Bizarro Council.
Thank you again.
My
I
pleasure.
know. You know, I kinda love Bizarro Council.
What part again?
What would I be?
I mean,
In Bizarro Council?
Jerry, what would you?
Oh, this is true.
Okay, the next
It's true.
treasurer's report.
Oh, jeez, okay. All right, never mind. Hi, okay, everyone. I am the actual treasurer, so this is, you know, at least this part is correct. Here, this is for you. So we have many treasury things to go over because it's been like 5 months since we last done a report. We also have to, I have to enter into record the financial review. This was done over the summer by Melissa Stein. So dates covered were January 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024.
They all go together, do you want?
And on behalf of Melissa Stein, I have examined the financial records of the treasurer of Beverly Hills PTA Council and find them correct with no recommendations. So could I get a motion to ratify the financial report for the first half of this year? Anybody?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Forced motion, can I get a second? Okay, thank you, JJ. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions, any opposition? All right, seeing none, motion passes. All right, we will enter that in. I also have the budget for this year. If anyone would like to see it, it is basically, we have the budget for last year, the actual for last year, and then the new proposed budget for this year. As my accountant likes to say, it is Sally, which is same as last year. So you may review Sally. Sally, oh, I miss him. He's actually not my accountant anymore. Anyway, he moved on.
Not Sally.
Not Sally. So I'm just going to make another, or ask for another motion to approve the budget. And then we can have discussion if you have any questions. I'm not sure if I'll fully be able to answer them, but I can talk with Melissa Stein and get back to you.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
On the financial report for April.
Wait, we're not on there yet, so let's do that when I get to that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Jenny Petty, pass the budget around.
I'm having thoughts.
We might have to have more thoughts later.
Are we still holding money for El Rodeo or we're done?
No, that's what's coming up in the financial report, which is very exciting. It's very pretty. It's a zero balance. Also, there's no Pia though. I was supposed to. Okay. Anyway, hopefully Pia will make an appearance.
Are we waiting on a motion?
We're waiting on a
approve the
motion.
budget?
Can someone make a motion to approve the budget? Leo's making a motion. Could I get a second? We have so many people here today.
I'll second it.
Oh, Jen Wolf seconds, thank you. We can have some discussion, but I'm not fully versed in the budget of the council. I just know that it basically is the same from year to year. We cover, like the installation luncheon, various hospitality things throughout the year, support various places here and there. Tiwi! Sorry.
And the income's coming from each.
Yes, from each unit as a, yes. So that is what we have. All right, so any discussion? No. All right, all in favor of passing the budget? Okay, any abstentions, any opposition? All right, seeing none, motion passes. All right, now we get to go through all of the financial reports. And Bahari, you can ask your question for April. Here, I'll take the budget back. I gotta put that into the record as well. All right, so April 2024 bank balance was $148,121.27. Checks written equaled $1,876.51. There were no deposits made. May I have a motion to approve the April financials?
So that was.
Well, yes, but we have to get the motion first and then we can discuss. So motion to approve April's financials.
I'll make a motion.
Jenny Petty, can I get a second?
I do.
Oh, Jen Wolf, okay. I was about to force a second. All right, Bahari, what's the discussion?
For the PTA council installation,
Yes,
it says number 2.
yeah,
The name on the check is American Express.
yes,
Does that mean that it was paid to pay off a credit card?
yes. It was paid to Lorraine's credit card directly. Anything that says American Express is paid to Lorraine's credit card directly.
But they'll have like the backup to that. Like
Yes.
they'll
Needs
have
to
We're
be
not
like
paying for
something.
her
Right,
vacation
it's not like,
somewhere.
right.
No, we have, it's always, we always have it in the paperwork, so it's always like
Sure.
the same request for reimbursement. We
The
have
reason why I'm asking that is
Yes.
because in financials, I'm sure you know this, if you just put American Express, if, let's say, a year down the line, something happens and there's an audit and it's pulled up and it just says, because you get copies of the check.
Yes,
If it says American Express, you don't know whose American Express it went to.
but we
so-
have the binders for 7 years that have all of the information and the invoices and any sort of receipts.
What I'm gonna suggest is instead of writing American Express, it should be the person's name that it's actually going to.
Well,
And none of the PTAs that I've ever been in, does it say just the credit card company. It says the person's name that it's going to.
right, but this was actually during Melissa Stein's time, so you can discuss this with Melissa Stein if you would like to. But I'm going to say that this is past and it's how it's been and we have the record. So if anyone ever wanted to audit us, we keep all our binders for 7 years.
But going forward, can the practice be to write the check to the person? I
It's
don't disagree with.
I would have to discuss with
Or maybe
Lorraine.
or just label it differently.
Well, no, it
That's
has
all
to,
I'm
because
saying.
it's the name. So this name actually goes directly to American Express. It has to be written to American Express. I've
Couldn't
never-
it just say like American Express reimbursement to what, and then write the person's name?
I've never
Like
seen it
underneath
where the check from PTA pays for someone's credit card. It
Okay.
usually pays the person and that person pays the credit card.
Yes, no, I understand what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you because I haven't done this either. However, this has been done ever since Melissa and Lorraine have been here.
Just because it's
So
been done
it's not-
doesn't mean that it's the
No,
proper way to do it.
but I'm just
so.
saying, you haven't noticed it before either. So, I'm not saying that I'm going to continue it, but I also have to figure out how to fix it because it's how they've been doing it, okay? And also you can talk to Melissa Stein if there's an issue, if she thinks it's been, she can also say whether or not this is appropriate to do for the PTA expenses and how.
It's actually appropriate to do it the way that I'm suggesting, and that's why I'm suggesting it.
Okay, but we can discuss with Melissa, okay? Okay. Right. Anyway, all right, all in favor of passing or ratifying the financial report for April 2024? Okay, any abstentions, opposition? Okay, seeing none, the ratification is passed. All right, now we're gonna ratify the CMB checks for April. Checks numbers 1370 through 1375 in the amount of $1,876.51. Can I have a motion to ratify the checks? All right, thanks, JJ. Second. T-Week, thank you. All right, could I get a vote to approve the checks for 1370 through 1375 for April of 2024? All right. Any abstentions? Any opposition? All right, seeing none, motion passes. All right, so now we're on to May. We have 4 more months. I'm gonna try and go really fast. Bank balance, $145,280.94. Checks written, $8,623.38. Deposits made were $5,783.05. Can I get a motion to approve the May financials? Jenny Petty, could I get a second? TV. All right, any discussion?
What is the income from that period?
The income from that period
Is that from like the lunch?
looks like, yeah, no, because it's May, so it looks like it's the luncheon stuff coming in. There was a small amount of unit membership that came in as well. So, all right. Any discussion? No discussion? Could I get a let's see.
All in favor?
All in favor, thank you, I'm all thrown out, thank you very much. All in favor to approve the financials? Any opposition, any abstentions? Okay, seeing none, motion passes. And then I would like to ratify the CNB checks, number 1376 through 1380, yes, in the amount of $8,623.38. Motion to ratify. Second. JJ, oh, the Cleo's on the, on the tape, watch out. All right, could I get a vote? All in favor? Okay, any abstentions, any oppositions? Seeing none, all right, motion passes. All right, May's done. June. Bank balance, $146,149.69. Checks written, $1,358.25. Deposits made, $2,227 even. Can I get a motion for the financials of June? Oh, Cleo. All right, second. I know, we're just gonna rotate. Jenny Petty. Okay, any discussion on the financials there? Probably just, it looks like it's just another deposit for the balance of the installation luncheon. All right, could I get
All in favor.
All in favor, thank you. All right, any abstentions, any opposition? All right, seeing none, motion passes. Now we can ratify the checks numbered 1381 to 1383 in the total of $1,358.25. Motion, Jenny Petty. Second is T-Wee. Any discussion? All right, seeing none. Can I get all in favor? Any abstentions, any opposition? All right, seeing none, motion passes.
That's a game.
It is, I know.
Opposite whack-a-mole.
All right. Okay, so July,
This is it, you guys.
July is, no, we have 2 more, or one more, August 2. But July, nothing happened. So the bank bill remained the same at $146,149.69. No checks written, no deposits made. Motion to approve of the financials. T-Wee. Second, Jenny Petty. Do you want to discuss that nothing happened in July? Probably not. Okay, so we're just gonna favor. Any abstentions or opposition to nothing happening? Okay, motion passes. And nothing to ratify. Very exciting. Okay, almost done. This is very exciting. Okay, so the bank balance for August went down to $109,678.39. Checks written was $71,771.30, which is due to the El Rodeo check being issued and closing out that account. Deposits made was $35,300. That was income from El Rodeo sponsorships for the opening day. Okay, so could I get a motion to approve the financials? T-Wee, Cleo seconds. Any discussion?
Wait, why did council get sponsorships from Albert, or you just
It
took them
was-
to give them
Yes,
back?
because they didn't have their,
Account set up.
thing yet,
Got it.
account set up yet.
Makes sense.
So it was that. And then, yes, I was able to zero out the El Rodeo line item in the council treasury, which was exciting. Melissa Stein and I high-fived, because she was the one who closed it. So we're happy to have it open again, it's very exciting. Okay, so, yes, all in favor? All right, thank you. Okay, any abstentions, any opposition? All right, seeing none, motion passes, and then we're gonna ratify the checks. 1385, 1387, 1388, and 1392, in the total of $71,771.30. The reason there are missing checks in there is because Farah had to rediscover how to print checks on her printer. Farah is ashamed, so Farah is talking in third person. All right, anyway, motion. Jenny Petty, Tiwi seconds. Any questions about printer issues? No. Okay, seeing none.
We have them in
I know,
our.
I was like,
We just did two in our.
it was like a joke. It was like a joke. Okay, anyway, motion or vote to approve checks. All right, any abstentions, any opposition? All right, and seeing none, motion passes. Woo. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you to those on
Yes.
the phone too who
Oh,
are
yes, oh
voting.
my God, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
the next thing on the agenda is, I put the minutes from April's meeting, we just need to approve those as well. So if you have a chance to gander at them.
They forgot doctor.
At that point, you weren't a doctor.
Yeah.
In
Really?
April?
In the minutes.
Yeah,
that's
Dustin's
correct.
name is spelled wrong.
I have two ends. Two N's.
Fideller told me
You
she
really
would
have two
never.
ends?
Do you?
Stop
I'll
it.
change it.
SDBMANI. Two E's, two N's.
Don't.
Should we make a correction?
I
I
already
can
told
make a
you
correction.
that.
Okay. Correct the spelling.
No, you don't. I'm just.
No, you
always-
have to change it.
It was my mistake. No, it wasn't. It was my mistake.
We can do it, no problem. With the correction of Dustin's spelling of the name, can we make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Awesome, thank you.
I know how to
Second?
do that.
Okay, thank you. All those in
Double
favor?
double.
Thank you.
Diplomas,
Okay,
everything.
great.
They were printed.
We did it. Kim's texting, maybe we didn't do it, hold on one second. I don't wanna, oh, she voted, okay, good. Okay, thank you. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is Kelly Hinden resigned from her post as membership. And so we are here to appoint Bahar Yakdafar as the PTA Council Membership Chair. I don't think it needs a motion because in direct quotes it says, "We appoint Bahar." So that's the new membership chair, congratulations. Okay, now we're getting to the fun stuff. Superintendent's report, please.
Good morning. I'm used to a little bit more tension in the room, so I'm going to take advantage of that. But great to see you. A couple of big projects that we're working on, and I'll start kind of just with this building and how this works into our reconfiguration plan for the district that is coming to an end. That's been a huge transition for the school district. As the high school projects are continuing with the music area, so B3, B4 is what we are calling the numbers of and the letters of the buildings. That'll be done, substantial completion this December, but there's a ton of things. It's a very technical space with the theater, so that will take the next several months to kind of go through all the punch lists and all of the dotting of the I's, crossing of the T's. It's beautiful. It's just like the unveiling of all of our other properties we've done. You're going to be so proud. It's really worth the wait. And I can't say it enough, but thank you to our community, to our board, to, we're setting up for the next generation. This is for the next 100 years, and it's on the backs of us currently here. And it's, nobody really thinks back to say thank you, because people are just gonna move right in and enjoy it. But I'm gonna do that along the way, because the sacrifices that our students and parents have made over the last 10 plus years is in the history books, not forgotten by some of us that have been here for a very long time. And I hope that people will always look back and say, a lot of concessions were made by the current group that's here in order to get where we're about to get. But it's an exciting time because you're able to see that as well, and you will definitely enjoy that. As the performance arts area, like that area is gonna, as I said, substantial completion in December, but probably next summer is when you'll see that kind of open up. Something we're excited about that Mr. Ellis is just constantly juggling is with athletics is the construction of, you'll hear us call it Building C. It's really the new Conheim. The Conheims have the naming rights to the Conheim, and that is going to be, it's still the Conheim, but it's a brand new building. That cannot come down until the new one goes up, because there's just, you have to transfer kids over. And so that is going to be starting very soon. In fact, they're doing some pre-demo work in October. That's starting the pre-demo work. That's probably going to take 1.5 years, a lot quicker than modernizing an old building is to put up a brand new one. And a brand new one's going up. And so we're very excited. So that you will see go up really quick. But that's in the area where the, right next to the swim gym. And so what's going to be shifting over time is you're going to see the grand lawn begin to open up a little bit with B3, B4 opening. And the board has made this a priority, is to open that space up because the community's driving by and it looks like it is like a crack house, like it is not appealing. And we know that's why some people don't send their kids here. We get that information. People tell us. And so we want to make sure that we're starting to show the community that this grand space and this grand lawn and this beautiful building is starting to unveil itself. And so we're excited to be able to share that with you. It's a small space for a laydown area for construction. So we're having to get really creative about moving space and shifting space so that we can open up space and get really creative. But that's been a board priority to do that. And so we're in the plans of doing that. We will share some information for you what that looks like for parents and kids and dropping people off and things like that, because that's underway right now. This parking lot over here, this small parking lot, is surprisingly going to create a little bit of an issue because it's got to be closed. So the swim gym parking lot will not be open and available in October. So.
And the tennis courts.
And tennis courts. And so what you're going to see kind of shift where we're here now is the parking lot that we have here. We have about 50 people that work here in our district office. We don't have 50 parking spots here. So half of our staff park in the swim gym parking lot. So as part of our plan, this last chapter of reconfiguration, the district offices, we're working on a plan to share with our board how that transition is going to go into place where we begin to move our offices from here over to Hawthorne. And let me just say this right off the bat. It's Hawthorne is a school. It's always going to be a school. It will always be a school. Just because we move in there, we start working with the city on early childhood programming, that's all very exciting, but it's, when we're saying goodbye to Hawthorne, we're really kind of talking about the emotional part of being there, and kids being there, and families being there, and generations of families being there. We wanted to respect that. But that's such prime property for us, and that it'll always be a school. And if you think back to your own, wherever you were in the country, if you weren't here, there's been this evolution of population where we were closing schools, and then we're adding schools and building schools because of the population. That's still going to change. That will never change. that is our property, it belongs to our school district, and so we just have the flexibility to be able to do what we need to on the inside of that building. So as we move over there, we are not pumping money into it to make it lavish offices, although we would love to have that. But really anything is a step up from where we are right now. This building is so far out of code. There's no fire alarms in this building. There's not enough parking in this building. There's like leaks in this building. There's air conditioning that doesn't work in the, like it's, we've really been putting a priority, and the community got it right. Put the money where the kids are, and the community's made that decision, and we're okay with that. I mean, we didn't sign up to have beautiful offices with a shower, and because we don't have that. But we're going to be shifting over to another existing space, and we're going to be moving into some of the classrooms, some of the offices, and that will then allow us to then use this parking lot to do that shift for people, staff, and for the city, that our partnership with the JPA, so that it's kind of the next evolution of where that's going to go, because this prime parking is just so hard to find. So that kind of leads into where we are with this property. This is a very bizarre property. I wish I had been around. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that room where they said this is perfect. Because it's challenging for a district office team. It's not set up in a way that is conducive to working together as a team. There's nothing about it at all that is shows the community part of our team, the working with interdepartment. It's such a isolated place to work. So we're at Hawthorne. We're being very careful about like where offices are and what's connected, like with Dr. Seaman's area, like with where business is and where enrollment is. I mean, if you think about, I'll just give you this one example. If you're a new family, we have so many new families, when they come to our front doors, it is almost impossible to give them directions that they will understand. To walk through this area, walk through a parking lot, walk through to that elevator, and it may or may not be working, and then take that elevator upstairs, to find Maria. We have people just walking all over the place because they don't know where to go. So, that will help facilitate for new families to be at Hawthorne. And if you just imagine Hawthorne, pulling up, there's plenty of parking. First of all, it's very friendly. It's lots of parking, and for a lot of people that do come in here, even some of our employees that come in to my office or HR, it's a quick kind of come in, drop something off, just ask a quick question. That will be a lot easier at Hawthorne to do that, and we're setting it up so that it's really intentional. So like we're thinking in mind, like if you're a new family, what does that look like to a new family to drive up and enroll? Because from that very moment somebody decides to do that, like their first impressions are forming. And so, it's, again, we're putting the priority on finishing these projects, but just to move in and have that space available is going to be, we're working very hard on what that's going to look like over the next several weeks, and then we'll be more public about that. And that includes even some of our board meetings, because as you know, like this is where we have our closed session, and we literally run from here to the high school to have our open session. And it doesn't feel good sometimes because we're late and people are waiting for us, and it's to have to shift places. We're looking at a plan where Hawthorne may be that place. Like if you think about the Hawthorne Library, that what a great place for a boardroom and then a closed session room that's adjacent to that. So we're right there. So lots of things, we're excited about it. But what about this building here? So we tried to give it away, can't give it away. But there are some developers that are interested in this particular property. We've gone through the process, it's not public yet, but we're looking at doing an agreement with the developer so that there's a revenue stream to the school district. We've, many of you already know this, that we've been in contact with our neighbors, that we have, we wanted this to still have that, this isn't gonna be the 10,000 building, although that would have been really nice. It's gonna fit into the neighborhood. And so with a developer coming in with some high-end condos and some affordable housing, because the city has to have affordable housing, and you know, we're glad to be able to provide some of that. We're in the last few weeks of before we're able to go public with this, they're doing some final testing for Metro, because as you know, there is 2 80-foot subway tunnels that go directly under this building and the heart of the high school, as you know. So that is part of that. One of the reasons why we were fighting that was because we lose the sovereignty of our land on top. That was one of the reasons why we fought that. And so, just like we said, 3 summers ago, I spent the whole summer in court. 3 summers ago, I was trying to explain that to a jury downtown. That this is never going to be, even in 100 years when they're working on the high school again, they have to get Metro's blessing on everything, even when you're building on top. So that's been problematic, just like we said it would. So we're working through a lot of those challenges. There's the Metro challenges, and while we're working with that, and hopefully everything goes great, in the next, hopefully, month or so, we'll get the final approval, and then the developer is going to be ready to go here, and then we will go public with what that's going to look like here. I just want you to be reassured that the board, it was a priority for our board, that this is our property. So this is, again, another property, we're not going to sell this property. This becomes a revenue stream then for the school district, for our finances, that it's going to be a 99-year ground lease for a developer coming in. So it's consistent, it's a very creative way to continue with a revenue stream for the school district, and still own it and keep the property. So of course we would, all of the property management piece, all that would be outsourced and things like that. But again, it's a great investment for the school district, and it's a great kind of final chapter with our renovations and where we are moving today. So I just wanted you to know there's some plans in the works, and that means for all of you that this space, we're looking at Hawthorne for some more meeting space. We've been meeting there since August, and it really is nice space, and it opens things up, and there's plenty of room, and we're really excited about that. So we'll keep you updated on that, but I want you to know that's kind of one of the things that we're working on right now. And then with the city as well is that we have this great space. Preschool that's run by the city is already there and thriving, and there's wait lists, and super exciting for the future of our district. And so it'll be our district office, and then also our preschool, but also then some additional city programming, which we've talked about a lot. Audrey and I and Dr. Seaman, oh God, there's so much we could do with this space with programming. So we're super excited about that. So, yes, questions?
Is there a discussion in this property building that some priority will be given to personnel to rent those condos or purchase them?
That's such a good question, and thank you for asking that question about priority for some of the affordable housing. So we're, like any developer coming in, it has to be a win for the developer as well. The issue that we're having is, with the number of units, are the 2 subway tunnels that go below us, because we can't put the parking in. This is, again, when people get mad that we were fighting, that's what we were fighting for. Because here we are. Yes?
Where are you in this fight? And if there's court records that I can read, I will do that to not take time, but I'm interested to know what stage this is in, because you already mentioned court. So is it an appeal process? Do you need advocates to go down?
Thank you for asking that question. So it was an ongoing battle before I got here, which is 9 years ago.
Yeah.
It was already well into, it's been going on for well over a decade. You would turn 30 before you read through every document, that it's really like 12 years worth of legal, but it's over. Like, I mean, we lost, and it's really unfortunate that we lost. Our last meeting in court was, gosh, was it 2 summers ago? 2 summers ago. I spent 7-8 weeks in front of a jury trying to explain to them, they were so disappointed. They wanted like some sort of murder trial, but it was like subsurface easements and the value of the land underneath. Like it was,
They probably didn't understand.
They didn't.
This is recorded, right?
It is being recorded apparently.
Yes.
So, which is new, but
This is true.
so so yes. I mean, I can talk to you offline about that because it's a long story that has been a big part of my life. Is that any type of litigation for the district, and so if it's Metro or we can go to lunch and talk about oil wells, and it's like you would, if it's happening,
I worked for a couple of
happening
light rail projects and understand a little bit of that process and what they do.
yeah,
so
I'm happy to update you on that. That's like I'm over it now. So I mean, but for a while it was.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I would be happy to update. I could write a book. It could be a Netflix series. It really could. Like I've been coming to these meetings and I've been updating you for 9 years on this, and it's like
Shondaland to be Breggy Land.
Right.
I know, yeah. This could be a really good special.
I
but,
know.
And then I'm sorry, and I didn't finish the answer to your question about the affordable housing and it's very possible that. I mean, the answer is yes, is that we can make offers for some of the housing here, but it's going to be really high end. It's what's selling now is like executive type of an environment or configuration where you have all built-ins and you have so you're utilizing your space is kind of what's really in right now, kind of like the 10,000 building. I'm not sure that our staff will be able to afford it, even at that level, because we can't have the capacity. And again, it was the right thing to do, because at first I was like, let's go, I'll make a lot of money for the district, but we have to take into consideration the community and the charm and and we've got a lot of people weighing in. Everybody wanted a pool here and all kinds of things, and so
They can have access to the pool at the high school.
yeah, right. Well, and that's just it. So, as Mrs. Marcus said, even the people moving in here, through the JPA agreement,
Right, there's amenities.
we have so many. This would be a prime place to live.
I mean, in addition to the building C, there's a brand new outdoor swimming pool that I don't think
People don't realize the Olympic size. It'll be the biggest pool in Beverly Hills. That's not privately owned, but but anyway, so that to finish that, just after they offer me the first apartment, then it's going to be opened up. Yeah.
Is there a plan to move Moreno and ILC also to Hawthorne?
Yes, very good. So so we're looking at what is the impact of that programming. We're just looking at all kinds of options so that we can share with our board that we've looked at what's best for our students, what's best for, and we're kind of sad. I mean, Dr. Seaman and I are both high school administrators, so it's this. We love this, and Mr. Ellis as well we were both high school math teachers, and we love being here to the high school. We love being this close, but it does give us access then to different schools, and but yes, we're looking at what that programming is, along with programming that hasn't been developed yet, and that's going to be the exciting part with the city. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, thank you.
The next on the agenda is Board of Ed, but Dr. Stern isn't here. So we'll put,
Ms.
Ms.
Marcus
Marcus
is
is
here.
here.
Put Mrs. Marcus on the spot.
Put me on the spot just now, I'm the only board.
You're
member.
never on the spot.
I was supposed to be on the, I could jump in and say.
I don't really have anything to add to what Dr. Breggy said. I would like to compliment the program that was run last night at for the parents at the high school. It was wonderful. I really loved it, and I thought it was a great way to meet everybody. I was a little concerned at first because it was the 9th grade, and I thought, oh my God, it's just gonna be so crowded there and so on, but luckily, I think it's just a kickoff to what it could be in the future, so I thought it went very, very well, and I don't know what you did with all the food that was left over, but I'm sure the fire department, the police department will benefit from it, whoever you give it to. I want to just remind everybody that tonight at 4 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, I believe, there's a digital safety program at Beverly Vista. I'm not sure whether it's gonna be on Zoom. I did not find it said in person, I'm not sure. Is it gonna be on Zoom?
I don't,
No, it's not.
I don't think that it is.
Can
I-
you make it
we'll
Zoom
have to
so
look
a
at
lot
that.
of
It'll be
more
taped,
more
actually.
people can attend?
It's
up to
the gentleman, Chris Dahl,
Yeah,
is
it's all up to for sure. It's up to the speaker and so we'll ask at least ask the question. So and I'm sorry, I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be a dog dad again, and I'm going to pick up a new puppy. So I'm not going to that, and I'm very upset that I can't be there. But
I think the concern for the Zoom part is that there's a lot of content that they feel is like not appropriate for children and stuff like that, so in order to sort of contain that, they make the decision.
But that also
not-
does not allow a lot of people that can
I know.
join and
That's sort of
benefit
the
from
trade-off.
program.
yeah, I love that you said trade-off because I think that that's what it is. So we find that this is the virtual part of what we do is great for people that for convenience and being there. But what's really missing is this opportunity to sit down with one another and for families to meet each other. And it's, as a culture shift in our district, we really need to start moving towards making time to do that. And because then you can ask questions about, look, I need to have a difficult conversation with my 13-year-old. What did you do? What did you, we're so isolated that it's like, we're doing things more for convenience than we are, how do we have this tough conversation with our kids? And it's really getting to the point where it is more about convenience. And without having people show up, it's not the same message. So it's great that somebody can tune in, but you're not all in.
There's an atmosphere that's there when you're there in person.
Yeah.
And I feel that I know I've been going to them, and I was always disappointed in the number of parents that showed up. I feel like I was sometimes the only person in the audience.
Yeah.
And I really, and with this being such a tremendous problem right now, I think that this is very important that we continue to present these and keep the parents, at least some parents will show up. I guess they may tape it, I don't know, but I would, I know that there was.
I'll still ask the question, just to see if that's gonna be done, but I think that we need to be part of that
Yeah, that's
culture
okay.
shift. That,
But there's
parents,
always
you
something
have to
missing
make
in a
time.
replay that you don't get, but you
Yeah.
can't ask that question. So, but I was just gonna say, now that the district office is going to be moving to Rexford, I can walk to the meetings.
I know, we did that just for
And
you.
I don't drive at night, so this is even, I can walk back and forth.
We did it just for you, so. No, we're excited about it. It's gonna be a lot easier for our the community to just pop in, so.
It's kind of like, would you do a drive-through at a Benihana to pick up your food, or would you rather go to the Benihana and experience?
That's a great analogy.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, those are those experiences where when you do that, you're like, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah.
So that basically, I think what's coming up also is the fun run for cancer for the young child,
Yes.
and I think you did, I'm sorry, I didn't want to take your.
No, talk about it a lot.
I know that I like to go to it and watch the kids run, and it's really such a worthwhile thing to keep that alive, and I'm glad that you're here, and you probably have a few words to say, I don't know, so.
All good.
I think the date is October.
October 6th.
6th,
Yeah.
right, I was gonna
Yeah.
mention. So it's in the morning, and it's really a wonderful event, and it's to raise money, no longer stop cancer type of thing, so. And I hope we get a big turnout.
We have a question in the back.
Yeah, if I can just counter a couple of the comments about meetings being on Zoom and making time. I do want to say as a single mom, sometimes it's hard to make time. I'm able to be here because I just happen to be in a situation where I'm able, but I do have parent friends, even married, it's very difficult for them to make that time, which is why having the Zoom calls is more convenient for them, because not everyone has a nanny, not everyone has a partner. And my situation is literally just me, but again, I don't know because of my situation. Both my parents are gone, my daughter's father has passed on. Not everyone has a situation where they can make time, and when they were making time, it was really stressful. And a lot of accommodations had to be made, and so this new environment is actually better for a lot of people, and I just don't want that lost. I don't want this to be conflated or overlooked, or I don't want anyone else's personal situation to be minimized as if they can make time, because not everyone can. If I weren't in my
Good comment.
very unique situation, I would not be able to make time. I don't have a nanny. I don't have family. I just happen to have resources right now where I can be available.
No, thank you for that comment. That's well articulated. I don't think it needs to be an all or nothing. Like I don't.
No.
But there are times where I do think that like there are going to be some situations where, you know, it really needs to be everybody together. But I agree with you is that I mean we have this technology available. We are using it. I mean that was the one thing that COVID did teach us well, is like using the technology around us so that we could be convenient, and so that will continue. The board has been supportive. We've got our licenses for Zoom. We have that for the district. So in no way am I proposing that it's, you know, kind of a shutdown or anything like that.
Okay, Dr. Seaman, did you want to?
Yeah, I just have a couple of dates for everybody. So I'm going to throw out some information. Yeah, that's going to be important. For those that are not aware or aware, we offer GATE programming for grades 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Communication is coming from me today at some point. It'll go out to those that qualify for GATE. But our GATE program is running from October 8th to November 14th for the fall semester. KBEV is involved in the GATE program. We'll being offered culinary arts programs. We'll have some world language involved in that. We have engineering. We have a green architecture program running as well. So that will come out from my email today. We also secured summer school dates, and so it's interesting that we just started school. We're in week 6, and we're already publishing those dates, which has been the first time since we've all been here. But we took over summer school just last year, and I'm already getting requests for those dates. So hot off the press. Summer school will begin for all students on June 9th. It is the exact week after we get out of school. So after our promotions and our high school graduation, you have a week to travel, people, and then you need to come back here and have your kids ready and willing to show up on time on June 9th. That'll be all 3 levels. So our elementary level will be hosted at El Rodeo. It is the first time in 6 years that we aren't utilizing Horseman space. It'll be the first time in 6 years that those poor Horseman teachers can actually stay in their rooms. So I'm super excited for them.
Is that just the equivalent you're talking about, the elementary or just?
All elementary will be hosted at El Rodeo, middle school will be hosted at middle school, and then the high school will be
Well, you
hosted at high
mentioned
school.
that there's a second session of, yeah.
Yep, so all start on June 9th. The elementary runs, because we have to offer it for 30 consecutive days, will end on July 23rd. The middle school program ends July 3rd. That's also because we're in competition with sports programs, other things that our middle school students are involved in over the summer. We offer a bridge program, which has been historic in our community around math, that will be in person. It used to be online. We found that those students that were participating, only about 10 to 15% were actually able to advance to the next level, and so we're trying to get them into the classroom to spend more time with the teachers and hoping that we can get more kids into the honors track. And then high schools, there's 2 sessions, June 9th to June 27th is the fall semester, semester 1. And then the second semester is June 30th to July 18th. And that's important for everyone because we have semesterized courses such as health education, personal finance, and then all of our year-long courses, students do have to attend both semesters. And it's excellent because it is free to our community. That's something that is unique and different to Beverly Hills after last year when we took it over. Most parents are paying $400 a semester at any other summer school program. And so it's excellent that we're able to do that. We are able to work through a grant program to be able to provide the majority of our funding for summer school. And I will be coming to the Board of Education with a wonderful presentation soon for a little bit more funds just to cover the rest of the costs. Yep, go ahead.
Do you know when registration for summer school goes?
Yes, we're releasing everything in January this year, so that way the city has ample time, and we already know who's already enrolled in our program. So they usually release around the end of February, early March, closer to spring break. We have a summer school committee running right now that I meet with after school, and so we should be done with all of our stuff. We're gonna probably bring a presentation to the board so the whole community can see all of the opportunities we're offering in November, and then we'll send out registration in January. Yep.
I mentioned that in my report.
Something important, and this, I always come with the important things, and why I ask you as parents to partner with us. The PTSA 9-10, or the 8-9, which is our freshmen, and then our PSAT NMQST, which is the qualifying scholarship test, is on October 23rd. That means if you have an 11th grader or a 9th grader, they need to go to bed on a timely manner on October 22nd. You need to feed them breakfast. You need to make sure they shower and they're awake coming into school on the 23rd. Why is this so important? The NMQST is what qualifies our students for national merit. It is a singleton exam, and we are very, very fortunate. All the hard work, I always do history lessons with us. 5 years ago, I stood in the same room talking to your exact same council about the importance of bringing the SAT suite into our school district. People were very hesitant at first, a little nervous, calling kids out, not wanting them to test, and now at almost 100% participation. And the reason is because now we just celebrated our 5 semifinalists. We have 5 in our senior class that are going on to being a finalist for national merit, which means Ivy League schools. That means tons of scholarship opportunities that are not accessible to other students. And in a national semifinalist is usually 1% of your population, and we got 5, and that's 1.67% of our population. We actually exceed the state standards in the senior class. What people aren't aware of is we actually just received our list, and it's in our board connections, so the board will actually see the names. We got 8 commended scholars. So that meant 13 of our students were in the top 1%. In that, then, once they identified those 13, the students do further their application process for consideration, and that's how 5 were named as semifinalists. But that means that actually 13 of our students were actually in the top 1% in the nation in the United States. Off that test last year in June, it was actually October 18th. I'm weird like that, I remember dates and numbers. And so this year is October 23rd. So again, make sure, spread the word. So PTSA, spread the word. And what's different too is, and I'm gonna talk faster. What's different too is we're also offering our college day during the exact same time. So our 10th graders, people always ask, what are our 10th graders doing? Our 10th graders are meeting with their school counselors. They're going over career selection process inventories. They're talking about what it means to translate into a pathway to go into college, the elective selection process, and then start to talk about college selection. And then we actually asked our college reps, we have our college night that night, we asked them to come earlier. We're actually gonna feed them. So then our 10th graders are actually gonna do a scavenger hunt with our colleges. So we get them talking about college even earlier than we had in the past. And then it's open to our 12th graders and our whole community at night. But our college reps will actually be there during the day. So the 10th graders are gonna be coached up by their school counselors, start talking about their careers, what does it mean in a college major, and then we're going to release the beast and let the 10th graders go attack the college counselors. They may not come back next year. However, it'll be exciting because our 10th graders will have access, because a lot of them will feel intimidated to go on their own, or they won't even tell their parents that it's happening because they don't think it's for them. Talk about National Merit. And just for all those in the community, I'm not the testing guy, but I do believe in testing in the sense that it gives us formative and summative data on all of our kids. And what Dr. Brady was mentioning earlier is just our encouragement when we are doing iReady and NWEA diagnostic. We just completed it. And people are like, why are we assessing everybody at the start of the school year?
Yeah.
Because we now know exactly where they're all at as learning. What was the summer slump like for this kid? If they're going into Algebra 2 right now, we've already had our meetings with our English, Science, and Math teachers both at the high school and at the middle school and NWEA. We had our iReady meeting at Horace Mann, and then on Tuesday we go to El Rodeo to dissect the data so they know exactly where their kids are individually in their classroom and what educational gaps they're carrying from the year before. And we are actually working, Dr. Sherman and I, who's the Director of Teaching and Learning, we're sending home this time all of the diagnostic information to all of the families. So you too will know exactly where your kid sits today. And there's no more guessing anymore. For years, we guess and guessing in education, and you're saying, oh, my kid may be struggling, or actually your kid may be lazy. Or my kid may be high performing, or my kid may be. So now we actually know where your student lies and the proper interventions to put in that place. They could be gifted in sitting there lying to everybody, and we get that. And so that's where the AVID program comes into play, is we have test data on some of those kids because we know that they can test through the roof. They just don't have the executive functioning skills, or they just don't have the drive to sit in class and do the work.
Can you
So
write
how do
that
we-
in areas? Just
Right.
kid is lazy.
Yes.
Put it in the
Give them an
newsletter.
L.
Exactly.
But it's important for us to identify that, because what they can't translate to sometimes, and we know because we've lived it, is the connection to their transcript. They're like, oh, I got a perfect on my SAT, I'm going to be great, but it goes along with your transcript. And so just because you got a perfect on your SAT doesn't mean that you're going to get the institution that you want for post-secondary, because your transcript doesn't match the test score. And that's what we're constantly battling with at the high school and even in the middle school, is your scores should reflect your grades, and your grades should reflect your scores. And so that's, we have kids that are getting straight A's, but then are scoring a 2 on a CASP. And we're like, why is that? Where's the disconnect here? And that's what we're trying to break down. Last but not least is 2 things. October 17th, I want to thank PTA Council always for being such a super helpful for when we run district-wide things. These are our people, like you're the high school people and the middle school people. These are Dustin's people, not just Dustin's, but Dr. Beverly and everybody else. And so PTA Council helps us out with our October 17th Professional Development Day. All the teachers come together. Ed Services leads the training. We're doing support for English learner students. We're training all staff in 3 different strategies to additionally support our English learners in the classroom. We are doing contentious conversations. A lot of us are getting brought into contentious conversations, whether that is based around the election, that could be based around the social media drama. So strategies to be able to facilitate contentious conversations in your classroom. We're doing workplace violence, and that's not because there is a problem here, it is because it's new ed code. So everybody has to be trained in workplace violence. And then the last is we are very excited to announce that we are a part of, I mentioned at a Board of Education meeting, one of 5 school districts that are in a news literacy project. We are in the 3rd cohort. This is it's run out of Iowa. What it is it's our opportunity to be able to understand and start to break apart digital literacy and start to help co-create lessons in curriculum around digital literacy, around students not understanding algorithms on their phone. and they're like, oh wow, I talked about a vacuum cleaner and all of a sudden it shows up. It's listening to you. And it does have an algorithm on your taps, and then it starts to calculate what you're seeing and looking at. And so we're starting to create curriculum around that as a cohort to be able to infuse in different places throughout our educational system to help educate our kids earlier and earlier on exactly what's going to happen tonight on just the dangers of the cell phone, right? The dangers of social media. And last but not least, Dr. Bargian, this is a plea to the community. And so you can zoom in on my face, I'm just kidding. In transparency, we as administration in this district have been completely and fully transparent. And there are some wonderful emails going around in the community with some screenshots of singleton data points and kind of bashing the district in some of our schools. And it's inappropriate, and I think it needs to stop. I'm the person where the buck stops, right? Like if you have a question about test scores, here I am, my door is always open, and I'm always willing to come to any meeting and have any discussion. An example, point blank, and I just want to throw out total data, is there's an isolated email where it's Warner Avenue Elementary versus El Rodeo or even Horace Mann. And the rumor was, and I'm gonna fully flesh this out in public, is that it had come from the Horace Mann families, but that's not the truth either, as we dug deep. Warner Avenue versus BHUSD, and I'm just gonna give you the data. Warner has 3% EL students, versus we have 13.6% EL students. They're not the same, right? So automatically we have 13.6% of our population taking an assessment in English and may not be able to comprehend or access the actual language that it's being tested in. Warner has 3%, which is significantly insignificant, and it's not even actually part of their testing numbers. 2, special education. Warner has 36 students in special education that are integrated 100% of their time. In our district, at El Rodeo, because that's where the comparison's coming from, there's 91 students in special education at El Rodeo Elementary School, and 40% of that population actually is integrated 100% of the time. We have the majority of our special education students still sitting at 40 to 60% direct classroom instruction. So you start to do the math, and then you actually compare the data. We're outperforming Warner for what we're up against. And when you take an isolated data point of meter exceeds versus meter exceeds, and not actually look what's inside the data, and actually scroll further down on the screen, because it's on the exact same place that they pulled from, you won't also see that Warner's attendance in 22-23 was at 9.6%. Chronic absent. Chronic absent in the state of California is 10 days or more. That means some of those kids miss more than 10 days. Our number at Hawthorne, 20.5% of our population missed over 10 days in that testing year. So if you don't get your kids to school, we can't educate them either. And so there isn't a direct comparison between us and Warner Avenue Elementary. Their kids are going to school, they have less IEPs, and they have a less English learner population. So if we would like to sit down and actually look at other comparisons, I'm always willing to do so. I know it's not us in the room, but we need to get that message out there.
Definitely put that in like a big poster and slam it on the school.
I know, because you've witnessed the conversations.
Yeah.
But it's unfair. We have made growth in 10 of the 14 areas last year, which is significant. And the 4 areas we didn't, it was a plateau. There wasn't a decrease in learning on our campuses. Our national merit proves itself, right? To have 13 kids that are at the top 1% that have been with us even through COVID to be able to recover and rebound from that. Our teachers are doing a great job, our administration's doing a great job. And I'd love anybody that knows the root of the emails, send it my way. My door's open.
I have a couple of questions/comments, and I'll start with what you're talking about, the data points. So my daughter does have an IEP, she's deaf, and one of the things I mentioned to Principal Bugby when he was there, because she was at Horace Mann, is how does my daughter's test scores not influence? Like, what can we do to make sure it doesn't influence the data points? Because I recognize that that could be an issue, so for you to bring it up, I don't know if it's, do you guys have a pathway to contact Niche or some of these other websites where they put that in? Because I was like, my daughter does great to be deaf. She's going to score really poor if she is put up against on par a neurotypical, like, normal person, you know, with hearing. And I don't think that's parsed out enough on any of these websites that collect data. And so I don't know if that is something that can be worked on or addressed. I know at USC, we made sure we made call recording. But I know there's a way that you can talk to the people doing the data to make sure that they adjust it. So I don't know if that's a possibility. And then two, for the meeting tonight about bullying and, you know, the digital stuff, I wasn't gonna bring my daughter because I thought it'd be more adult. But I've tried to talk to my daughter about the algorithm, about how it's created, about how it creates your persona, because like I work in tech, but my daughter doesn't believe me because she's just at that stage in her life where I'm mom and I know absolutely nothing, but you mentioned the kids, and so is it should we bring our kids because she'll listen maybe to you say it.
So Student Services is running the event this evening, and it really is geared towards the parents.
Yeah.
What we're working on through the News Literacy Project, and we utilize things like Common Sense Media, where we, Lisa, is your daughter still at Horace Mann?
She's at Beverly Vista now.
So Gretchen Grabowski is our I4 coach there. She does, and Jessie Braun, our, oh my gosh, first and foremost, we forgot to mention, we have a teacher of the year that's like real teacher of the year. Jessie Braun. Like, they're all real, but like.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. So hold on. So Jessie Braun, who is our head librarian at Beverly Vista Middle School, but also we double dip with him. He teaches our digital literacy for our middle school students, and double down with teaches our middle school yearbook. And last year, when our yearbook teacher went out, helped finish our high school yearbook for us. He was our nominee for our district for teacher of the year. It goes to Laco, and they compete against, and it really is a competition. It's tough. It's interviews, it's resumes, it's letters of recommendation from us. And he then, Laco can put through top 16 to the state, and he is one of the top 16 to move on to the state. Because we are so large, then the state selects 5 of those, and then 1 goes to the national competition, which goes to the White House. So he is, Dr. Breggy and I got to attend on Friday at the Hilton and Universal Studios, a beautiful banquet where they honored Jessie Braun, and he's so humbled. So if you know him, high five him, continually celebrate him. BV, PTA, yes.
I know on the flyer for tonight it says children, not for children under 11, which I imagine means children over 11 are allowed. But
That's what it says on the
maybe
flyer.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, and if you're with your parent, he is, one of the speakers is, I mean, I really like his style. He's gonna tell parents like it is. And they'll be back too, so while I'm waiting for an answer about the Zoom, we've several that are scheduled this year, because it's an ongoing issue for us,
It's an
so.
elementary version scheduled, right?
And thank you, Jen, it's an elementary version coming too, so there's gonna be more, besides the one tonight.
Perhaps even not even Zoom, just a replay.
Right, perhaps, yes.
Well, we plan to highlight it at the PTSA meeting the following morning, just like a summarization and just some
Okay,
tidbits of
good.
it. But yeah,
Yeah, we just need more of it, and
We
more people to attend.
Because I allow my daughter on social media, and I know some parents don't, and so the challenge for me is I'm seeing how her algorithm is shaping her output in a negative way. Like, she didn't understand why they had a fire drill as opposed to a shooting drill, because her algorithm keeps on pulling up Sandy Hook and different things, and then what happened at Horace Mann, you know, several months ago didn't help, you know, the situation. And so I'm seeing in real time how, and I go in her phone, I try and like,
Good.
not interested in this, not interested in this, but still, she directly needs someone talking to her that she'll listen to about the algorithm and how she can take more control in it.
Yep.
But right now it's shaping her and it's just.
She's in 6th grade, isn't she? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's 6th grade.
Okay. So I'll talk to Liz Schultz too,
Okay,
her school counselor, who's excellent as well, and can have a really great conversation as well.
I think they do a lot through admin chats at the middle school, so we do
Wednesdays.
grade specific admin chats, once or even more a month. And so that might be something that we can like talk to the admin about to like specifically you guys tell the kids, cause they reinforce it to them.
okay.
I also love, there's a Psychology of Parenting podcast,
Oh, there's
and it's
one.
called Psychology of Parenting.
Yeah, that's a
And it's, they have an amazing one on how to talk to your kids about it.
Mhm,
So
okay.
just Google that podcast.
For which grade? Is it for high schoolers or?
Yeah, I think I've shared it. I
There's
think
also a
it's
great book
middle
by
school.
Jonathan Haidt called like Anxious
It's amazing.
Generation. And in the back of the book, he talks about like steps that parents can take to
No,
to
it's
help
Is the high school
Psychology of
not going
Parenting.
to be attending Skills USA this
It's called
year?
the Anxious Generation.
No, we're
It's an
still,
incredible book.
we are still doing Skills USA.
Are you sure?
We're in the process, so we just secured for DECA alone, we just secured 2 advisors.
What departments are going to be competing in Skills USA? Cause I've been told by the teachers specifically that they are not gonna do Skills USA because their funding has been cut and their advisor has no.
I love this one. So transparency, here we go. You just riled the hornets, guys. And I know. For years in our district, we had a department called Career Technical Education, which was not a department. It was a group of teachers that we were able to put in, that were programs that we put together to collectively calibrate because there wasn't other places for them necessarily to go at the time. We didn't have fully fleshed out pathways yet. We had KBEV, which was fully fleshed out, culinary arts, but we were picking up robotics here, we were picking up, MSA had only 2 classes, so there wasn't really this full, audio production was only a class at the time, fashion wasn't even thought of yet. And then as we were able to work to get them up to speed, fully funded, fully fleshed out, full classes, aligned with UC approved, which they were not 3 to 4 years ago. Now all of our pathways are UC approved. Because of the UC approval, because of the funding, we were able to then start placing them into the academic departments that they belong in. So examples would be KBEV is a broadcast journalism credit through UC approval, and that is aligned with our visual and performing arts. It's a performing arts credit at UC. And so to have them sitting over there, not consulting with the actual performing arts department, with the broadcast journalism, and then even partially with English, we have them co-create. An example, culinary arts is actually a food sciences through UC approval, and it's a science course. We may teach it slightly different. We're trying to move it into that sciences component, but now they're aligned with science. So there's that piece of the puzzle that people need to understand, because people are saying, meaning there's 4 teachers, that are saying that then there's budget cuts. There wasn't. Cindy Dubin, who is the career advisor, was always just helping Dustin Seaman, I'm going to just be honest, with helping me orchestrate and finish these pathways. Now that they're fleshed out and they're in departments with department chairs, Cindy's now able to go back to doing what her original job was, is to career advise students on the Career Academy, which is our hotel rotation. We're looking at building one for legal and for real estate, because we have a lot of kids that want to go in the legal department and the real estate department. And so we're looking at different intern externships, and that's what Cindy's strengths lie. So they still have the same amount of funding, they're just in a different department. They don't have Cindy to do a lot of their legwork, meaning field trip forms and stuff. We're holding the teachers accountable like we would the yearbook advisor if they're going on a field trip, or a athletic coach. And then in the negotiations, in this last contract, all overnights were approved, at a standard stipend for all teachers because there's an equity of some are getting paid hourly to go to something. Well, we go on a 6th grade overnight for 4 days and they're literally hiking up mountains in the snow and they didn't get paid anything. And so the union negotiated with the district and the Board of Education at a $250 flat stipend for overnight trips. So that way we can entice more teachers to participate. And then there's 4 teachers that are saying that there's cuts, but it was a negotiated rate. And so if they aren't able to attend, we will sidestep them and find others to represent us.
Because the deadline for skills is like this month, and
And
they
it-
haven't signed up yet.
I know Cindy and I, we have our CTE advisory council meeting today at 4.
Okay,
We're going.
because the parents are getting misinformation about,
It's what's happened in our district for decades. The teachers don't like what the administration say, and what do?
That's
They
exactly.
go to you guys,
Yep.
rumors start, and then all of a sudden the pressure comes back on us, and that's not, we have,
I mean,
to
the
no,
bottom
no,
line is the kids,
Right.
Totally.
That's
and
the-
we're trying to like build these pathways and make them strong. And if they're not going to be competing with other schools that are doing these specific pathways, what's the point of like building all of this?
100%. And then also, what's the point of you being part of it as a teacher if you're not gonna fully flesh out the program that you said that you're going to work at? So that's my question back to the teacher, is if you're not the right person on the bus,
Somebody else.
there's a door, I'll pull over to the curb, right? And so, and that's the honest truth, is we have to have the people that are in it to do it for the right reasons, and there's still compensation that is negotiated equally amongst all of our teachers where it was super unfair. We're always fighting for equity amongst our educators, and it was unfair that our 4th grade teachers weren't getting any money versus some people at the high school are getting thousands of dollars. And so if you go to a 2-night trip, that's $500 in your pocket. I'm like, pay me, I have to go for free. No, I'm just kidding.
And then last question, Avid, can you give us an update on what's going on with Avid?
Yeah, I swear I'm so
5
sorry.
seconds.
First and foremost, I love, all your guys' support for Avid is, again, Avid is a course that we launched for 8th grade and 9th grade this year. We have close to 80 students, give or take, between the 2 levels. We just actually, and it's crazy, one of the best things we did was we just went on a bowling field trip. And people are like, oh, what? But it was to build camaraderie, that team feel amongst the 8th and 9th grade students and amongst the 2 sections at each of the campuses for them to really get to know each other. The students that were selected, again, range from honors and just need that additional support. We have some AP kids that are sitting in 9th grade that are in AP Hog and Honors Spanish 3. They just feel that they are a little bit they were nervous jumping into the deep end of the pool of high school, and they wanted that access to support and exposure to post-secondary options, career exploration and college exploration. And the same thing in 8th grade, where we have some students that a parent self-selected them, or we have some students that self-selected themselves for various reasons. And the course is really set up around not just executive functioning skills, but public speaking, eye contact, conversating, not being a wallflower. And that's why, like a bowling field trip is so instrumental of getting them out of their comfort zone, because some of them are straight A, honors, high-flying kids, but don't want to have a conversation with an adult, right? Or can't advocate for their own needs. They're just going through it with the masses. Or then there's some kids that can do it really well, and they're helping model. So it's a fantastic program. I encourage anybody out there that has kids to definitely explore it. It'll be in 7th grade, 8th, 9th, and 10th next year. We'll stay at 7, so 6th graders won't have access the following year. It'll only be 7, 8. It's a lot of college and career conversations happen in there, so it's really developmentally appropriate from 7 to 12. And they can stay in it for 6 years. And they can get credit. It's a UC approved course. They can get credit for all 4 years as part of their elective process. And so it's excellent. Danielle,
Yeah.
we're going to UCI, University of California, Irvine, in 2 weeks both groups are gonna board the same bus. They're gonna go meet with admissions counselors in the morning, and then we have a scavenger hunt for them where they have to actually go up to college kids and like interview them and get like interpersonal skills and then actually information around the campus. So it's great.
One more thing.
I
I'm
swear
so
this-
sorry.
Oh
I'm
my
so, like,
God.
every time he
Jenny,
talks, I just.
Jenny!
Do you have any just very brief like initial feedback on AP seminar, because my son's in it and I like it, but I just want to hear like what's the feedback coming from like your side.
Yeah.
Just very
Hi, son.
He's like, oh, mom.
Yeah.
But like we went to back to school night and it was so interesting and
Yeah.
such a great option. So.
Yep, and so if a history again, I'm just real quick is when we came in, we asked a lot of questions of the whys. We asked initially why was there an honors world history course that had run for decades here, and when there's an AP world history course and an AP human geography course that could be in its place. And within that first year, that I came in 17, Dr. Berge came in before me. By 18, we had launched AP Human Geography, and there's some trepidation by the community around it of like giving an AP course to a freshman. And now it's our highest enrolled AP course with our highest success. Meaning we went from barely a section year one with having the board trust us on this to now it's almost 65, 70% of the freshman class are now enrolled in AP Hug. In that, then we looked at, we have 10 honors English, and again, what was the credit behind it? Outside of having an honors credit be to it, we already have kids that have taken AP, now AP Seminar, and it's a research course. And a lot of our kids, we grew up with encyclopedias and figuring out how to research, and we actually had librarians, it was part of their standards that taught us how to do that. All the way back in elementary school. And it's a skill that's a little bit lacking. We have some kids that want to go into research post-secondary. They want to go into medical field or law school. And this is a great opportunity for them to learn those research skills now to advance what they want to do then post-secondary. And it's in place of their honors 10 English. It's still running right now. It's a slow phase out. So kids got to self-select between the two. But like AP Human Geography, where I slowly just stopped talking about honors world history and it evaporated, honors 10 English will slowly evaporate. I just will stop talking about it, and more kids will start taking AP Seminar versus the honors 10, and it'll just slowly start to go away.
Dustin, really quick to go along with that, when we went to back to school night, the AP seminar teacher told us that there's a way to take an English course one semester, and you can take 2 AP tests. Can you explain that, please? And will it happen next year?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so ultimately, so an example I think is clearer for people to conceptualize is there's economics, AP economics, people will say, right? There's macro and microeconomics, and they're 2 different AP exams. But you teach economics as a full year course, right? But they're 2 different classes, yes. And it's the same thing with research. It's, it is actually AP research and AP seminar, but it's within the same one. And so year 1, what we did was with Barbara Nealis, and we have 2 other English teachers that went on this journey with us last summer. We're slowly gonna drip them in, is we're gonna get through, not get through this year, we're gonna celebrate that we made it through this year. And all of our kids are gonna perform through the roof. And then once we get to that, we're going to recalibrate over the summer. We probably may not see it for 2 years in the sense of, because of the, it's a lot of curriculum dive for it, meaning it really is 2 different courses being taught within a single 10 year, just like the macro and micro. And as we slowly drip in, kids are going to believe that they're getting what they just experienced this year. So we use word of mouth of kids to start recruiting as we build the program, and then we'll slowly flesh it out further, if that makes sense. Okay. So they'll still get an opportunity to get college credit in seminar. We just won't split it maybe for another year or so. Because what I fear is I then get kids in that expect what the kids experienced this year, and then they start talking crud about the program. And they're like, this is way harder than what the kid before me experienced. And then no one signs up, and then we're back to honors English time. Does that make
But they
sense?
get 2 AP credits and they're doing it all within
The one
class.
I totally, but it's not as simple as just the one class. That's what I'm saying about the.
Right.
It's 2 separate sets of curriculum.
Right, 2 separate semesters.
In the same class, versus they have the one stretched out over a year right now, and that's like AP Hug. Some schools do it in a semester, we do it over a year, and that's why those kids are able to perform so high on the AP exam.
Dustin, we gotta,
Yep.
guys, call it.
I'm out.
We gotta call it. We had to call it 10 minutes ago.
Sorry.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Dustin.
Thank you, Dustin.
Please pull them aside if you have any other questions.
Next on the agenda, City of Beverly Hills. There are two,
Thank
I
you
think,
for your
librarians.
patience.
Yeah.
There's really, yes.
Three of us,
All
speakers
right.
for the first time, and then
Yeah,
we're gonna
no.
rotate.
Thank you for your patience.
Wonderful, thank you all. Audrey Ovasapian, Michael Muse, Recreation Services Managers, and then we have Ida here with our library services. Quick notes, something that is coming back this year is upstage theatrical programming. If you're interested in registering for it, registration is currently open for 1st through 5th grade. Just a quick update on that for theatrical performances. And then we do have our art show coming up October 19th and 20th from 10 to 5 for our fall show. And then inside the mansion, if you ever would like to see what's at the Greystone Mansion indoors, it's October 6th from 11 to 2. And you would need to register for that. We do have Beverly Hills Paw Star, so it's a new thing that we're doing at the dog park. So if you're interested, you submit your paw friendly, maybe your new puppy. Make him a Paw Star for the month. So yes, we have that coming up, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Michael and Ida for additional updates.
Good morning, everyone. Just a few dates putting out there. So this Saturday we have our next night, which will be on Beverly Boulevard. It starts at 4 p.m., so it's an evening market, 4 to 9. We'll have entertainment and a Ferris wheel. The performers will be an English band called Bow Wow, and then there's an ABBA tribute band as well. Just want to also put out there that October 27th at the Farmers Market on Sunday will be our Fall Fantastic. So it's a Halloween / Dia de los Muertos event. So there'll be costume contests, pumpkin carving contests, and all sorts of fun stuff for the family to participate in. Following the Paw Stars, we have our Doggy Days coming up November 3rd at Roxbury Park, so right down the street there. That'll be from 11 to 3. We'll have all the popular disc dogs and the English Shepherd dog parade, and then making sure I got the proper breed.
What date?
That will be November 3rd. And then we're looking also to add some new elements that were pretty popular during our dog park open house, which had a dog caricature, so we're trying to lock that in, so hopefully that'll come. And then next month, October is Civility Month. So put on by the Human Relations Commission, we have an honoree that will be awarded a Civility Month award at the council meeting October 10th. And there will be a reception before the council meeting to honor that individual who exhibited just a good spirit, civility throughout their time. And we do have a past winner here of the Civility Month. Congratulations. And that's all we have for the adults and sports section.
Good morning, everyone. Latest and the greatest from our majestic library. Tutor.com changed their name to Leo. I've left some flyers for all of you if you choose to take. Leo stands for Learner Engagement Online. What's beautiful, you can just upload the school paper, and totally competent and capable tutors based on the questions asked, they will show up online and they'll help everybody with their needs free. All you need is your library card. The subjects are math, science, writing, English, Spanish, ESL, social studies, AP classes, SAT, and Microsoft Office. So please guide your students, whoever you have around, for this additional help library offers.
Is this interactive by any chance?
Yes, between 1 and 10 there is a live tutor.
Oh.
24 hours their services.
Wow.
So if you're looking for a live tutor, they can upload their paper, and then the tutor, they if they choose, they can even text and voice chat. This is all completely anonymous. Your privacy is protected. The good news is you can watch the session under your created library account and review what was given to you, because not all of us grasp it from the first time. Replay is usually a fun thing to go over and say, oh, how come I missed this? So these are nice options library offers. For story time, this is everybody's favorite. Fall story time starts ages 12 to 36 months on Tuesdays. Mondays and Tuesdays, and Wednesdays for family story time. And last but not least, I wanted to show you a few things. If you have students grades 3 to 5 or 8 plus, ages 10 plus, have you seen, I made a copy because they're so heavy to carry around, bring it over. These are called launch pads. They are preloaded games, social media free. Kids can just interact and play and practice their math skills, science skills. So this is how it looks like, this orange tablet. And then this is how all you need to do is charge it, and on the side of the spine of the item, it shows the subject you're choosing. They're located on the right side to the children's department. You will see them lined up against the shelves. Another electronic device, because clearly the new generation speaks language of electronics, and offer them something social media safe and speaking their language. We offer this option for them so they can practice their skills, and it's just fun to do electronically, and they grasp it faster from what we see. So please guide you to use them. And this is for children who can't read yet, and let's say there's a babysitter who doesn't speak English yet. These are books by the Vox company. When we open the book, on the left side there are buttons. The reader speaks the chapters to the child, and this just helps with the reading skills for children who can't read. So that's all with us. We just wanted to encourage you to use our digital media and all the resources, learn, and we have Peterson for the AP tests and all whatever the high schoolers need. Please encourage them to use our resources.
Quick question. Excuse me. I heard there were some initiatives to expand the library hours, especially on Sunday, because I know every student doesn't start studying until after 6 p.m. on Sunday. So I don't know if there's been any progress on that, or if we're still closing at 6.
We're still closing at 6. It is entirely up to city council.
Okay, well you could nudge them.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, we are there to offer them shelter for the safety
Okay.
study. There's
Okay.
no question about it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I have Tim next on the agenda.
Hi. Live and in color. Thanks, real quick. Lots of things going on in the world of athletics, and a lot of exciting things going on. First of all, I ran some numbers as the start of the school year came. And at the high school last year, 52% of our kids in the entire student body was participating in an athletic event. As BV was over 51% that were participating. So it's the largest, programs on our campuses, and so those kids are very important. It's very important to those kids in terms of the athletics. So we're real excited about it. This year, in terms of what we've done, we now have a girls' flag football team, which is last year we couldn't get it going. We now have 22 girls on our flag football team, and it's flag football. Now that it's an Olympic sport, is exploding across the high school scene, and so we're very excited about that. Hopefully next year we'll have enough girls that we can have a JV team and a varsity team. So we're really excited about that. Coach Rucker's doing an amazing job They won their first game last week against Centennial High School, and it was just amazing. Their last home game is next Tuesday at 3 o'clock here. Try to come out and watch them. It's fun. A lot of kids that have never done anything before, they decide to come out for flag football, and they're running around having a great time. This year we've also have a girls golf team, which we haven't had in the past. We have 7 girls that are playing golf. You know, a lot of them had to learn that it's not the windmill anymore where their ball's going through, but they're out on a real course. They're playing at Rancho Park, and so it's really exciting. So we're moving forward there. Football-wise this year, we have 43 kids on the varsity football team, which we've never had in my 7 years here. So Coach Hassan, who we stole from Windward when they dropped their program, brought his staff over, and he's great for kids. The kids love him. Kids now want to play. We're actually getting basketball kids that we never got before that are trying to play football as well. So that part of it's really, really exciting there. Girls tennis, we took Bobby Kroll, a AP social science teacher, taking over our tennis program, has done an amazing job. So we've got a lot of stability in that area, so we're doing well, and I'm real excited about that. Middle school stuff is going great. We have, I want to say, probably 70, 80 boys playing football between the 3 levels. We've got 60 some odd girls playing the 3 levels of volleyball. We have 29 cheerleaders this year. So Uniso, parent from one of the kids, took over the program, and it's amazing. And so we're real excited about that. Later on in the football season, we'll have another bridge event where the girls, the cheerleaders from BV, will work with the cheerleaders from the high school, and they will perform at the high school game along with the band. We have that. We're really working on those bridge events. 2 weeks ago, we had the football team from BV was a part of the pregame for the high school. I know some people call it CIF part of the after that elite recruiting, but I don't care. But it was nice. Those kids came early. They were pregame. They were in the locker room at halftime. Did all the things with the high school kids, and their eyes were like this, and so it was pretty good. So I'm really excited what's going on in terms of the things athletically, and we're having a lot of success. Football team's 2-2, which we haven't been 2-2, and God knows well. Yeah. So Friday night, tomorrow night is homecoming. We've got our food trucks going and our little beer garden up there. I shouldn't call it a beer garden, but it's our little area where everybody hangs out. That's what people think. People go, they call it the beer garden for some reason. But anyway,
non-alcoholic beer garden.
Absolutely. But it's become a very popular thing, and so it's good. We're getting kids to come out. Parents are coming out because the food's pretty good, and it creates a really good atmosphere. So we're really excited about that. One thing Dr. Brady did not talk about, with the closure of our tennis courts and all this area over here, we're going to have to do some adjusting in terms of how you get in and out of the swim gym, how you get in and out of the stadium, what we're going to do. So we'll have some maps and stuff coming out. And Audrey, I walked with the city yesterday in terms of the facilities. And so there's going to be a maps coming out because it's going to be an adjustment if your kids are in athletics, because that whole area is going to be kind of a mess. And a blurb for JJ here for the event. I've been working with Stacy in terms of helping get that set up. It's going to be a great event on the 6th. So I won't steal your thunder, but I just want to put in a blurb for you. So anyway, any questions I can answer you athletically? Great. Thank you so much. Come out and watch us play.
It's a perfect segment.
Okay, great, yes, thank you. Hi guys.
Hi.
JJ, thank you so much. I think everybody here has heard about, knows about, has probably been to our Not Today Cancer Beverly Hills Run of the Stars. This is our 4th annual year, which is really hard to believe. And I'm proud to say that this is the first year we've had enough sponsors to pay for throwing the race. So every ticket, everything that everyone's buying is going right to the donation we make to the clinical trials. So yes, thank you. It's really wonderful. And that's thanks to all of you, and it's thanks to, honestly, to BHUSD, because having been a partner with you guys for the last several years in doing this has really helped this grow. We have 2 children in our district right now battling cancer. It is not as rare as one might think. This is a tiny district, and to have 2 kids that are currently in treatment is upsetting, and there will be more. So it really is an important cause. And I wanna say also, in continuing and as we grow Not Today Cancer, just to kind of see where we're going with this, we're actually talking with, currently I've been working with a couple of juniors at the high school. They're starting their own American Cancer Society club at the school, and they've been asking how we do it. How do you do a fundraiser? And so we're partnering with them to help them build their club, and so that we can continue to show kids how you do this, how you do a nonprofit, how you do a charity for a cause like this. Also, this is very premature, so this is premature, but I want to share it here because I think this group will be of interest. We're starting to look into talks with, I think it's the Beverly Hills Science Academy, Beverly Hills High School Science Academy, to start to bring in, we are partnering with our organization with some of the top researchers right now in pediatric oncology. There is incredible research that I really wish existed a few years ago, but that's how fast it has come about. AI diagnostic tools, treatments that are immunotherapy treatments that we watched with Mason that were just budding and now are really starting to help kids. The money we donated last year to a trial has actually seen 2 children go into remission this past year, which is wonderful. Same trial that Mason was on that needed a little push, and that's what our goal has been. So we're actually seeing that change happen, which is amazing. We hosted an event at El Rodeo last month where we had researchers come in and talk about the types of research that are available. So what we're looking to do is to partner with some of the high school kids to help partner them with, at least for a day right now, to meet these researchers so that they can find a track if they're interested in going into oncology, pediatric oncology, research. And eventually, hopefully, we hope to be able to set up, pathways for internships and any other kind of education that can happen for those kiddos who are interested in following that science path. So, or medical care. Interestingly, Madeline our 7th grader, has just started saying that she might be interested in a medical path to help kids. And I wonder where she got that. So these are conversations that we want to keep fostering with the school system, and the help that you guys have done to help us through this event every year is amazing. It's at El Rodeo. I think everybody knows about this. We start and end at El Rodeo. We run the course along those gorgeous neighborhood streets up there. This year there is no stoplight to have to go through. So the Beverly Hills Police Department is very happy about that.
What time does it start again? Was it at 8?
It starts at, I think it's at 8. Honestly, I have to remember, we open the doors as early, it starts at 8. There it is right there. I have to look at my thing. The doors open as early as like 7 o'clock, I think, because there's some early registration. We recommend everybody come in on Saturday to get their bib and registration stuff. It's just easier and make your life easier the morning of. We still need volunteers. Registration's a little bit down right now. I think it's going to go up because usually everybody buys their ticket this last week. So if you can help us get the word out, we really appreciate it. One more thing. This year we're going to be announcing it tomorrow, but I'll give you a little preview. We're doing a silent auction. I had the opportunity to film with Tiffany Haddish this summer, and so she wants to support us. So she is giving us some tickets to be able to do a silent auction to go see a performance of hers. We also have Clippers tickets we're going to be auctioning off, and we're looking for a couple other things. But little silent auction thing going on with that, so we would appreciate you helping us get the word out and perhaps buying a silent auction, signing up for your silent auction bid. So I'm going to leave these here for anybody who needs this. There are QR codes. 1 to donate, 1 to volunteer, and 1 to sign up for the race. So, cool? All right, well, thank you guys. We appreciate you so much.
Really quickly,
Yeah.
on the date, I know that sometimes registration's impacted because there's multiple days off of school.
Yeah.
And so people are traveling.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
And you guys probably consider that, but for future years. Maybe
It's
there's a
funny,
regular
every
thing.
year it's a dance between the holidays and other events in the city. To be honest with you, next year, we're actually thinking, and this is a conversation we have to have with the city, we think it's a great day to do it the day of the art fair, like it's the October 19th next year. We like that idea because you can go do your thing and then go to the art fair. Doesn't start until later.
You should end it at the fair.
Exactly, right? And so we actually think it's a good thing. The city doesn't always love that because their resources get a little spread thin. So it's a conversation we're having, but next year we are leaning to that for that exact reason. So yeah.
And the students get credit at the middle school for volunteering
For volunteering.
and for running.
That's right, that's correct, that's
Just
correct. They
middle
get
school, you
community
have to
service
do
hours.
both to get credit, or you
No,
just have
No,
to do
just one or
either
the
Either or, yes, exactly. And we'll need volunteers the day before, if someone wants to volunteer the day before, because we have t-shirt pickup, bib pickup. So we do need volunteers that day, and then you can volunteer one day and run the next day, and that way kids can get their community service hours from BB, so yes.
Do you know the hours for the Saturday? Because we can share it with Katie Carter and Katie Castle. They're our
Let
community
me,
service
off the
people.
top of my head,
Yeah,
I wanna
yeah,
say
sure.
3 o'clock, I wanna say starting at 3, but I could be wrong. Let me get that out to you guys,
3 or
because
4.
3 or 4, something like that, right? Yeah,
Because they sent out
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure.
it's in the afternoon, it's like 3 or 4, and it's for a couple of hours that afternoon, so, yeah, cool. Thank you guys, we appreciate you so much, thank you. I'll leave these here for anybody.
Alright, okay, I got 4 minutes, we're gonna be out of here at 11 o'clock. And that's it. Alright, I am representing BHUSD today, and I think everyone here knows, but for you on TV there, we are the fundraising arm for the whole school district. I'm gonna just tell you BHUF.org, because you'll be able to get all the information that you need that I'm gonna be talking about today, BHUF.org, that's our website. So, first thing is next night, they talked about it a little bit, hopefully everybody's gonna be there, all the schools are gonna be represented, just gonna be a big fun neighborhood party, so that's coming up on the 28th, Saturday. We have had a really terrific year so far with things that we've been able to fund. So, BHF is funding, lunchtime activities at El Rodeo and at Horace Mann. So if your kids are participating in those, benefiting from them, that's because of BHF and our contribution, and we see that this was something that both schools needed. We're so proud of being able to do that. We also sponsored a college essay writing workshop at the high school, which was really well attended, and we have ideas for it for next year. Maybe do it a little bit earlier, so that so people who write their essays over the summer can have the opportunity to get the help ahead of time. But it was a really well-attended thing. We're so proud that we were able to do that. We also awarded our innovative grants to teachers. And this is something that we've been doing for the last 4 years, I think, also. And it's just fabulous what we've been able to do. Mr. Stewart gave us a big shout out in the buzz yesterday, so thank you, Mr. Stewart. And it just makes us really happy to know that we are sponsoring these teachers and allowing them to kind of discover their passions and share that with their students. So one thing that we have as part of BHEF is we've got Team BHEF. And it's been around for a long time. I think we've got a group of kids that are really trying to elevate it. We've got 49 applicants and kids who want to be a part of it. So I think that it's going to be a very robust program. It's going to be supporting the school district. So where we say we need volunteers for school events, this may be a great place to be able to start coming and getting these kids involved. They're talking about doing a Shark Tank kind of thing, except with clubs. And so they'll do fundraising in order to be able to then pick a club. And they themselves will also learn how to give grants. So it's kind of exciting. First thing they're doing, though, is a candidates forum for the school board election. So school board election is November 5th. Candidates forum is October 15th at Beverly Hills High School. And it's 5:00 p.m. I can airdrop to you flyers if anybody wants them. You turn your phone on, I can do that in here. But we encourage, and it's all student run. The students are planning everything, they're coming up with the questions, it's things that are important to them. So I encourage you to either watch it on KBEV or go over to the high school and watch it live. Last thing is that we've got this really awesome poker event, and like your run, this is our 4th annual also.
Yeah.
And it's our big fall fundraiser. It's gonna have a kind of a 20s theme this year, so we're kind of excited about that. We're looking for sponsors still, and so BHEF.org has all the information about sponsorship, but these cards allow you to buy your ticket here, and then there's sponsorship information on the back if you wanna grab one as you're heading out. And hopefully everyone comes to play poker. It's gonna be a fun night. I think that's it for me. And can I do it? I did 11 o'clock.
Look at you.
Thank you.
Okay, so take notes.
when I come back,
You know what, I'm only sitting up here temporarily.
I will
so
take meetings with anybody but her.
I can keep talking.
I can do that.
That's an every word's valuable.
Thank you,
It's
Jill.
so much fun.
I really like this.
Everybody is valuable.